Okay, hello everybody. Let's see if we have anybody in the chat before we get going too far. Is anybody out in YouTube land? I was just at my friend Melanie's live. She does a live every Saturday.
Oh.
So I was just at hers and she plugged us. So maybe we'll get some viewers. Nice. We'll see. We'll see. It doesn't look like we have anybody here yet, so we'll just give them a couple minutes. Yeah, so lives. I was doing a couple lives a week on my lunch break. They were just like 20-minute lives because I was trying to get myself used to doing them. But you know.
I watched a couple of them when I had a chance during my lunch break. Or no, not lunch break. I think it was when I was having
probably your breakfast.
Yeah, it was my breakfast.
Yeah. Oh, so Yarn It Out is here. Hello, Yarn It Out. Yarn It Out, you're going to have to remind me of your first name. Hi, Maribel. How are you? Oh, Rosalie. Yarn It Out is Rosalie. I don't know everybody's names. I don't remember names that well, like connecting the channel names to the actual person's name. So Wanda's here. Rosalie, yes. Thank you, Rosalie. All right, we're going to give our YouTube friends a little bit of a chance to maybe tune in. Oh, Denine's here. Denine's from Canada. Is it still cold there, Denine? It was snowy this week here. I would be so glad when it's officially spring. Do you live where it gets cold, Olivia? I know you're in California, but...
Yeah, I'm in Northern California in the San Francisco Bay Area, and it's sunny. It's chilly, but sunny. That's the way it is. Yeah, pretty much the whole year round in Northern California.
Yeah. I have family in San Luis Obispo and also in Goleta.
Yeah. And it's dry heat too when it does, because we have patches of warm areas, like LA is super hot.
Yeah.
And if you go into the east side of California, we have a lot of desert too. So
wow,
dry heat over there. But
yeah. So Denise says it's 0 degrees Celsius right now. So I think that's like freezing, right? Like 32.
Wow.
Is that sorry, Denise? Yeah, she's up in Canada.
Pictures from Canada. I always think it looks so beautiful, but you know, folks who are out there like it's too cold.
Yeah, looks can be deceiving, right? So now that we've got a few friends here, I'm going to make introductions. So this is Olivia, and she has a YouTube channel called Fun_with_Olivia is how I usually say it, but it's Fun with Olivia. But the underscores help people to find you better. And her links are in the description. So after this is over, you can go check out her channel. But Olivia, you also have an Instagram, right? And it's the same name.
It's the same name.
_with_Olivia. Yeah. So I discovered Olivia's channel. I wish I could say how I discovered your channel, Olivia, but I honestly don't know. I don't know how I came across it. I don't know whether it was a suggested or if I was searching for something, but I was so excited to find your channel.
It could have been me commenting on yours because I've been watching yours on and off in between.
Oh, that could be too. So as we get older, we want to look our best, especially now with Zoom meetings all the time, as well as being on YouTube. So our faces are out there a lot more for us to notice the little lines and wrinkles and age spots and dark spots under our eyes. So
and Zoom's not friendly.
I know it's not kind. It's not. I did find the little thing though where you can enhance your appearance.
Yes, they do have filters.
Yeah, I discovered that yesterday, and my boss came out of her office and she said, "You look different on the screen."
Thanks. Is that a good thing or not?
I know. And so I showed her, and she ran right into her office, and she turned hers on too.
Nice.
Denise says she loves living in Canada. Just there's no Hobby Lobby and there's no Joann's. So I'm sorry. So anyway, so this is Olivia, and I'm going to ask Olivia some questions. She already knows what they are, but I'm going to ask her some questions so you guys can get to know her better, and then we'll start our little slideshow. So this story, Olivia, that you told me the other day, I thought was so cute. You have not always been a makeup girl.
No, I haven't. And just to give a little bit of history, my YouTube channel used to be called Makeup Fun with Olivia. I have had that channel for a few years now, but then I went MIA, came back, and now I'm talking about fiber and yarn, so I changed it to Fun with Olivia. But no, I have not always been into makeup. I didn't start using makeup till I was 28 years old, and that was because I was getting married. I decided I wanted to use makeup for my wedding. And so my girlfriends were super excited. And they said, let's go to the makeup counters at the mall and have them, you can try different stuff. Because I didn't know what worked and what didn't.
Right.
And so as I was having fun trying all this makeup, that's where it all started. I got hooked on makeup.
Most of us here got hooked on hooks.
Well, I was already hooked on that.
You were already hooked on hooks by the time you discovered makeup. Oh, so Ginger the Yarn Geek is here as well. Hi, Ginger. So you said you've been a YouTuber for quite a while.
For a few years, yeah. I started, I'm 51 right now, so it must have been like 9 years ago. I was having problems with my makeup in my early 40s, and my younger sister said, oh, you should check out YouTube. And I said, YouTube for makeup? And she said, yeah, they do a lot of reviews. And she was right. I found a lot of reviews, but not a lot of over 40 reviews. I found that everything that was being recommended didn't work for me.
Yeah.
And I found a couple of channels, and I was very motivated. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to start a channel and share what works for me. And so I kind of started on this journey for a couple of years and developed a network of beautiful women who were having the same issues as me. Yeah. Now I am happy to say there are so many over 40, over 50 channels, but back in the day, there were not that many.
Yeah.
But that's how it all started.
Yeah, I think it was the same way with yarn channels back then too. There were just a handful, maybe Jada and Stitches and maybe Crystal from Bag a Day and maybe a couple of others, but now there's just hundreds of them. Hundreds of them. And it's nice because there's so many. There's a channel for everybody,
Definitely. Yeah, because everybody likes different stuff, right? And especially with makeup, it's the same with yarn too, but with makeup, everybody has different skin. So you got to kind of find those that have your same skin type or like the same things you like. And
and styles too, not everybody wants to wear bright red lipstick and so pretty cool. Yeah. So you've loved yarn though forever.
Yes.
Almost forever.
I started crocheting when I was about 8 years old. My mom taught me how to crochet. Crocheting was big in the 60s and 70s, as many of us know. She loved making doilies, and I just thought they were beautiful. So I learned how to do it. And I've been crocheting ever since.
Yeah.
I started knitting when I was pregnant in my 30s. So maybe about 15 years knitting, but crocheting is more natural to me, to my brain.
Yeah. I love it. And it's faster.
Well, it is for me. I know, it just, some people are faster at knitting. Some people are faster at crochet. It just depends on the person, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I don't remember how old I was when I learned to do either of them. I just remember being little. And, my grandmother was doing it, and I think my mom did a little too. So I wanted to do it too. And then I stuck with it for a while. And then, when you're a teenager, you do other things, but then I came back to it.
Yeah, the same thing happened to me. I kind of stopped for a while and then I feel like it came back in like the early 2000s, right? Ravelry was huge, Crochet Today magazine, and that just kind of brought in this new wave of younger folks that were interested in it. And now it's like fully back, especially with, we're all home or working from home. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the pandemic definitely made a lot of people either come back to crochet or discover it. So Bren Michelle is asking, what's Olivia's channel? I can't find it. So there is a link in the description, Bren, and it is fun_with_Olivia. So hopefully that helps you find it. And hi, Vicki. And let's see. Hi, Crochet at My House.
Hi, everybody.
Hi to everybody in the chat. Okay, so do you have anything on your hook right now? I know the other day you said you were actually in between projects, which hardly ever happens.
I know, that's rare. I just finished this virus shawl, which apparently was very popular, or a lot of people know about. I didn't know about the virus shawl, but a friend of mine, Lisa Pine Notes on Instagram, and she's on YouTube too. She does an annual cal with the virus shawl, and so I finished it. I haven't blocked it. I haven't even weaved in the ends, but I put it on anyway. But this is what I recently finished. And then yesterday I began, I don't know if you guys know about the Ophelia Talks mystery cal.
Yeah.
And so the first video showed up yesterday and I quickly started working on that. So that's what I'm working on right now.
So do you have any idea what the project even is? Like you don't even know if it's like an Afghan or a shawl or a poncho. You have no idea.
We don't know, but I can share with you what I've made.
She's the queen of teas. She's the queen of teas.
Let me see if I can share with you. I'm not done with the first portion, but this is the first week. It's going to be a few more squares, and then who knows where it's going to lead, right?
So you don't even know it could be a wearable. You have no idea. Wow.
No idea.
You're brave. You're very brave. So did she pick the colors specifically, or?
She did. You could order the bag.
I'm sure it's Stylecraft Special DK.
Yes, it is. So you could order the bag, or you can.
I'm gonna hang it. I forgot to plug in my computer, and I just got an alert that it's going to run out. So I'm going to be right back.
Sure, no
but go ahead and tell everybody about the cal.
Okay, so you can either buy the bag from her link. She's in the UK, or you can, get your own yarn and, follow the videos. And a lot of people actually are doing it. I just, I wanted to join in the fun and I bought the bag of yarn, but yeah, so that's what I'm working on. What are you guys working on? Oh, I see so many comments. Hi, everybody.
Oh, that was embarrassing.
No, it's all good.
I don't think I've ever done that before. I forgot to plug it in, and all of a sudden I get this little thing that says, you have 2 minutes remaining. And I was like, oh my gosh, I believe I forgot to plug in. So that's exciting. So how long will the cal last?
It's a 6-week cal.
6 weeks.
So, yeah.
Sorry, my dog decided to join the live.
Okay. Aww.
He had a tough year. He lost a leg this year, poor guy.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he had cancer, but he's doing well now. So, but yeah, take your tail and go over there. Okay, so let's see. So I think we'll start the slideshow now.
Okay.
If you're good with that. So I'm going to share my screen here. There we go. And is there anybody else new in the chat that I haven't said hello to? Rose Cottage Studio is here. And Linda is here. And Alice is here. So hello, everybody. I hope you find this fun and helpful. And so we're going to start with Olivia's 5 must-have products.
You're so professional. I need to learn from you. I don't know how to do all of this.
So yeah, I love video production. I think I missed my calling, really. So I think these are so cute. You say Elf bite-size eyeshadows. So it looks like they've got a gajillion colors. So tell us about these and why you like these so much.
Yeah. So Julie asked me to share maybe my top 5 products. of makeup that are age friendly, right? Mature friendly.
Yep.
And there's a lot of stuff out there that as soon as you put it on, it just, I don't know about you guys, but like I said, I'm 51. I have very wrinkled and crepey eyes. So when you put a lot of that stuff on, it just accentuates it way more.
It like sinks into the little lines. Yes. And it enhances them instead of enhancing what you want to enhance.
Yes. So these came out, I think about a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. I can't remember, but I actually have one here with me. They're small. You can find them. I'm sorry, they're all gunky because of the stickers they put on.
No, that's okay.
To prevent theft. But they have 4 eyeshadows, and they used to run about $3. Sometimes, depending on where you buy them, it might be $4, which is a really good deal for eyeshadow. I will mention that I love all kinds of eyeshadow, high end and low end. So I've tried the high end and I have my favorites in the high end, but I love finding one that is quality and only $3. And this was it. It doesn't highlight your crepiness. It blends really well because blending is really important, especially at our age. I'm actually wearing this today. So yeah, these are mature friendly and I love them, and they're a great price.
Awesome. Sweet. Okay, so we'll move on to number 2. Yarn It Out says, I love makeup. I'm running out of lipstick.
I love lipstick.
I am just discovering that I love lipstick too. And naturally I just discovered it when we're all wearing masks, right?
Of course, right?
Linda says, wow, thanks for the makeup tips. I'm 70 in July and I love my makeup.
Nice.
I just knew that my demographic would be into it. So number 2, and this one I'm excited about because I have been using CoverGirl Ivory, classic Ivory, since I think I was 16. So it's time for me to maybe think outside the box. So L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable SPF 17. So it must have some sort of a sunblock in it, right?
It has a little bit of sunblock, but it has too little for what we need. So I would still recommend a sunscreen underneath. I just recently discovered this. I have to admit that I've been using high-end makeup because up until like a few months back, I had not found drugstore makeup that I was happy with. And when I tried this, after trying so many others, I've wasted so much money on trying all kinds of different liquid foundations. I would always go back to my Sephora brands until I found this one. And this one is amazing. It doesn't highlight my wrinkles. It doesn't settle in. By the way, in my 40s, I was combination skin. That might help to know. And now that I'm in my 50s, it has dried off a little bit. So sometimes when I put things on, products make my face look even drier because I don't have that youthful glow. So this gives me a little bit, I don't want to say glow because I don't feel like it makes me glow. I'm wearing it right now.
Yeah, you're not shiny. Yeah,
I don't look shiny. I need the perfect combination, right? To hydrate me, not dry me. And I really love this one. I really love it.
Right. So I had a question about it and now I can't remember what it was. Naturally, right?
I will add a disclaimer with this though. The way I use it, because I have a lot of pink here, I use concealer, dabs of concealer on my pink area. I'll sponge it in, and then I put this L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable Foundation, and that's all.
Right. Okay. Linda is asking if you can get this in England. I'm not sure if you know the answer to that question, unless maybe you can get it on Amazon. I don't know.
I'm not really sure. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I didn't think about that either.
We can probably look it up and, put it in the comments later.
Sure. So is it pretty easy to find the right match with this?
That's another wonderful thing about this line is that they have a lot of colors. I'm a really hard color to find because usually in my Sephora brands, if I got the light ones, they were too light. And if I got like a shade, just the next shade up, it would be too dark. So
You have to mix them.
more often than not, I would have to mix. I don't have to mix with the L'Oreal True Match. I did have to try a few different ones, but I finally found the one that worked for me. So yeah, they do have a lot of options. You just have to try different ones.
Yeah, for me, I usually, I think, have to go with whatever's the lightest because I'm pretty pale, but yeah, maybe I'll have to give that one a try.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next slide. Now, this is the one that I'm most excited about, but I don't know how to say it. So I'm going to let you say it.
Lancome Mackie Complet Concealer.
Wow, that sounded very French. And I couldn't find the little accent mark in this font. So
okay. So again, I've tried in my 40s, I did not use concealer. I did not find that I needed it, or at least I thought I didn't need it. In my 50s, I find that I am really needing something under my eyes. Yeah. However, I'm also way more wrinkled. I think the camera is doing me favors, but I have a lot of wrinkles under there. I see a lot of YouTubers who put all kinds of concealers, but when I try it on under my eyes, it just dries and highlights those wrinkles. I have very wrinkly under eyes.
Me too.
Yeah. So I've been trying left and right, both high-end and drugstore. I have not found a drugstore one that I'm 100% happy with. And high-end, this is the closest that I can find. That is a nice in-between where it doesn't dry me, but it gives me just enough correction under my eyes. It's like an in-between. So it's not the best concealer in the world, but it does enough, because the really good correctors, if I put it on, it'll look light, but it'll just dry up my under eye. So this is kind of like a nice in-between for me.
So where would you get this? Would this be something you could get at like Macy's, or?
You can get it at Macy's. You can get it at, I think they have it, I'm not sure if they have it at, I think they do have it at Sephora. Sephora, Macy's, at the mall, anywhere that sells Lancome.
Gotcha.
Online, yeah.
So Maribel answered our question for our friend in England. Is that she says they do have that foundation on Amazon. It's $9. So good to know.
Oh, wow. That's a good deal.
Yeah.
Right there.
And Linda says, cameras do not do you favors, Olivia. You just look great.
Oh, thank you. No, they do me favors. I see it and I'm like, oh, in person, this is wrinkled. Trust me.
Oh, I get the darkness under mine terribly because I am so pale, and yeah. And now that I used to, cake on the powder and everything, and then I was like, I'm thinking as I age, less is more. I need to stop putting on all the powder because it's not working.
We try to fix it and then we end up accentuating it more. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. This is a nice in between. It's worked for me. And I don't know if you guys know Hot and Flashy. She's a huge makeup YouTuber for over 50. Yes. This was on her top list too. I really trust her. And I've tried different items that she's recommended. This one is on her list too. I noticed after the fact and I'm like, ooh, I was right. It is a good one.
Yes, I like her too. I believe it was her that showed me how to figure out your best camera angles for going on Zoom. And I do about 300 to 400 Zoom meetings a year. So yeah, that was important. So I rearranged my computer at my desk in my office to make sure that the light was coming in just right. And it makes such a big difference.
Nice. I missed that one. I need to go back and look at that.
I think it was her, but maybe I might have a different channel, but I think it was her. So that was a good tip.
She always has great tips. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this one I need to invest in because I'll be honest with you, I've been using baby wipes to take my makeup off. They're handy and I'm just like, and then I take my makeup off that way. And then I was like, yeah, I really need to stop doing that. That's probably not the best thing.
I didn't know that worked.
I didn't either. I discovered it actually when I was on an Amtrak overnight train. And I just happened to throw some, baby wipes in my purse, and I washed my face with it, and all the makeup came off, and I was like, hey, that worked pretty well.
That's cool.
Yeah, but I should probably invest in some actual makeup remover. That makes more sense.
I mean, but if it works for you, there's so many options. That's the wonderful thing about makeup and skincare. There's so many options. So if it works for you, right?
So tell us about this one.
So this one they may have repackaged it because it doesn't look exactly like my packaging, but it does say the right things on it. You can only get it at a CVS pharmacy. It's their CVS brand, Beauty 360. What I love about this one, so I perspire a lot on my face. And so I need to use a lot of waterproof items. And so like my mascara, I need to make sure I use primer so that my eyeshadow stays on, that my makeup stays on. But when you use a lot of waterproof stuff or like heavy duty stuff that stay on your face so that it won't fall off, then you need something strong. And I've tried a whole bunch of different eye makeup removers, and not all of them remove everything completely. And this one does for me, but in a very gentle way so that I don't have to be tugging, because sometimes those tough ones, I still have to tug because it's waterproof mascara I'm wearing. And with this one, I don't have to tug too much, and I love it. Before this, I used to use the Lancome, I think it's Bifacil or something like that. It's an excellent eye makeup remover, but it's $30 a bottle. That stuff works. And nothing has made me quit that other expensive one except this. Now I use this. So
yeah,
it's not as good as the other one, but it's good enough that I'm happy with it.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned the waterproof stuff, because I've noticed as I age, and I'm sad to say that that's why, because I wanted to blame the mascara. But it must be my eyelids are drooping a little bit, because by the middle of the day, I've got these little black smudges here from my mascara. And I'm like, why is my mascara doing that all of a sudden? And I'm like, it's not the mascara that you've been using for 20 years. It's your eyelids, dummy. But I think I need to start using waterproof stuff. So yeah, I don't get those black smudges.
Waterproof helps, but it's harder to take off. So that's why you need a good eye makeup remover.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And primer helps, but you have to get the right primer for you. Eye primer, so that it doesn't, with our lids coming over with it's going to happen anyway. See, it kind of happens to me too.
Yeah.
It happens a lot less when you have primer and when you have waterproof products.
Awesome. So we'll move on to number 5. Let's see what number 5 is. Oh, yeah, the retractable eyeliners.
Yes. So again, I perspire a lot, and my all-time favorite eyeliner is the Marc Jacobs one, because it is not drying and it stays put. However, it's really pricey, and I have been trying left and right to find a dupe. And I won't say that this is 100% dupe, but I will say that I might even like this one more.
Really?
It's creamy enough. It's creamy just enough that you can, you don't have to be tugging at your eyes. You can, kind of write it on there,
Yeah.
But it stays put once it's on there. And on top of that, on the back of the eyeliner, there's a little smudger. So because my eyelid is so crepey, when I try to write the line, it sometimes goes a little bit up and down. And so it looks a little bit crooked. That's when you turn it around and use that smudger and smudge that line out.
Okay.
And it's an awesome and affordable eyeliner.
Okay. I might have to check that one out. I don't really do a lot of eyeliner, because I tend to be able to do it fine on the one side, but not the other. I can't seem to get my hand positioned right.
Yeah.
And so it always turns out sloppy. And then I just say, oh, forget it. I look like an idiot. So, so yeah, maybe the one I was using wasn't like creamy enough and wouldn't write as smoothly. So
yeah, give it a try.
So when you're choosing a color for your eyeliner, because it looks like there's a lot of them, how do you choose like what color for yourself? Like, do you choose according to your actual eye color, or is it more about what you're wearing? I don't know how you do that.
For me, it's a combination of what I'm wearing and what I'm in the mood for.
Okay.
I don't really use black eyeliner anymore. There are all these rules of what you should and shouldn't do when you're over 40, over 50. I don't believe in any of them. You should do what you want to do. But I have found that black eyeliner for me makes it look harsher, makes it stand out more when there are mistakes because I have the crepey and wrinkly eyelid. So I really enjoy using the next step down, which is a navy blue, a hunter green for my skin tone. But really any color that you like, that you enjoy, that makes you feel pretty, go for it. Try it. That's what I've done for the past few years.
Yeah, I like that. I like that idea.
Yeah.
Do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Makeup should be fun.
Yeah. Now this, all right, I have to confess, I've never even heard of anything like this.
Oh,
I'm really not, I'm not up to date on my makeup stuff at all. Okay, so tell us what this is and what it does.
So for makeup junkies, this is a classic. This is, again, I perspire a lot in my face. And this is a mist spray that you can put on after. You kind of like do this from far away and spritz it. And it sets your makeup so that you're not falling apart by the end of the day. So I love this one because it works. It doesn't smell bad. It's very misty. It is a little bit up there on price, but I wait for the sales and buy 2 or 3 to last me for the year.
Yeah.
It really helps my makeup stay put, and it doesn't dry me, because sometimes you will try some of these makeup sprays and they just dry me up, and this one does not.
Well, that was what I was thinking. It seemed like when you sprayed something on your face, like it would be like a shellac, like it would hold everything in place, but it's not like that.
Some of them can be. I keep on looking for a drugstore option. I have not found one yet, because sometimes, and even the high-end ones, sometimes they'll have one that, the droplets stick to your face and you almost have to do this, or,
Yeah.
But this one is really nice. It just kind of disappears on me. If it doesn't, you can do that. And it doesn't look like shellac, like you said. Yeah. It just, it holds you together without drying you, but without making you look like a glow ball.
Awesome. Thank you, Maribel. Maribel says they have it on Amazon. It's also $26. So thank you, Maribel.
Thank you. Yeah.
Maribel's like my research assistant today.
Thank you, Maribel.
All right, so let's move on to the next slide. Olivia's 5 anti-aging tips. We can all use those. So tip number 1, and I was not surprised when I asked you, what's the number 1 thing anybody, male, female, child, adult, can do for their skin? And you said sunscreen. And if you had like a thought bubble over your head saying it, it would have been in all caps. Sunscreen.
Yes, sunscreen. So they recommend at least a 30 SPF, but quite honestly, for our 40s and 50s, I wouldn't use anything less than 40. You can find some with 50. I have a moisturizer, a face moisturizer. I actually have it right here with me, which is not on the list, but it's by Paula's Choice. It's a skin restoring moisturizer with SPF 50. So yeah, I wouldn't use anything less than 50 because I find that I get a lot of age spots. My wrinkles get a little bit more pronounced, and this isn't just kind of a one-day thing. This is something you have to do every single day. Use sunscreen. There are so many out there that if you try one that you just don't like, or you don't like the scent, try another one, because there's so many options out there, and there are a lot of great ones, and there are a lot of great drugstore ones. Like Neutrogena has a really nice one that's not, as strong or tacky. I mean, there are a lot of great ones out there. So yeah, but sunscreen is important.
So can you show us that one that you were holding up again?
Yeah.
And this is the one that you like?
So I use a Paula's Choice sunscreen under, and I use this as my moisturizer, but you don't have to use both. You can just use a skin moisturizer with the SPF 50.
Okay.
I just like to go overboard.
No. Again, I'm pale and I'm starting to get the age spots too. And when you're pale, they're going to show up even more. And when I tend to use sunscreen, it always has that, I don't know how to, it's not greasy, but it's like a weird feeling on your skin. And then you put makeup on top of that. Is that how it should be?
Not necessarily. I mean, yeah, some of them do feel like that, but you can find one that you're happy with. Just try different ones.
Mm-hmm.
I would try ones that are specifically made for your face, because if you're just using, kind of a generic one that everybody uses for the beach, that's too much.
That's not going to work. Yeah.
It's gloppy, it's thick, it's tacky. You don't want that feel on your face. Yeah.
Right.
You want something light. I love the Paula's Choice ones. I sound like I'm connected to her, but I'm not. She has products that are multitaskers. So she has a lot of anti-aging ingredients in her line. Thank you, Maribel.
Maribel's awesome. I'm going to hire her.
I love it. Yeah, Paula's Choice has a lot of great anti-aging products that also have sunscreen, and they multitask, and they have great ingredients in them.
Okay.
So, because some of us don't have time to be doing all these different. I'm really big on getting multitaskers.
Yes, absolutely. And I think that more and more of us are. We're just in a hurry, but we want to look nice too, and we want to, have healthy skin. And so I know that I should be putting on the sunblock, but it always felt like I said, it felt so icky on my skin, and then I'd put makeup on top of it, and it just didn't look right. And so it's good to know that there's better products out there than whatever I was using. I'm not sure what I was using. I know it wasn't like copper tone for the whole body. It was definitely for the face, but it just was not right. So the Neutrogena you said was good as well, right?
Neutrogena has a few, but they have, and I wish I had the name with me. I can see it. But yeah, Neutrogena has a few that are really good. And that's the thing. You have to find one that you like, because if you don't like it, you're not going to use it. So it's kind of a moot point, right?
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, let's move on to the next screen here. Use sponges to apply makeup.
Yeah, this is a very personal one for me. Again, do what works for you. But some people like to use brushes. Some people like to use your fingers, and that is great. But I find that sponges really, they help to spread it out nicely, the makeup, spread it out thinly, because it will absorb some of the makeup. Now, that's one of the pet peeves people don't like. It's using up their product. I like it. Especially now that I have found a foundation that is a drugstore one. If you're buying a high-end one, of course, you don't want the sponge to eat up all your makeup.
Right.
But if you find that good drugstore one and you're okay, I like that it absorbs a little bit of that foundation, and it just adds a little bit to your skin so that it looks very natural, and it doesn't leave those lines that brushes can leave on you.
Yeah.
It won't settle into, it kind of absorbs the extra, so it doesn't settle into the texture or your wrinkles. That's what I like with sponges.
Okay. Yeah, it makes sense. I have tried them. But yeah, I went back to is this just a ploy for them to get me to buy more of their product, or is this actually doing something? So I hadn't used them in a while. And then recently I thought, well, I'm going to do this thing with Olivia. Maybe I'll try a brush, because I saw you using a brush one. So I bought a brush and I was using that, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm doing it right.
Yeah.
So I went back to my fingers, but I think I will go back to using the sponge, because it definitely did spread it out more evenly, and I liked that. Sorry, I just realized I'm not on the screen and I'm talking with my hands.
The Beauty Blender is an awesome sponge, but it's pricey. Elf has some great affordable sponges.
Okay.
I used to hardcore use Beauty Blender over and over and over. Because not all sponges are the same. And so I kept on trying these other ones and I was like, it's just not like the Beauty Blender. I finally found a drugstore price one that I'm happy with, and it's by Elf. They have one that's kind of an oval.
Okay.
That one's great to do under the eye because it's pointed, but they have a round one that looks like the Beauty Blender too, and it has a flat side on it. And I think they're only like $2 or $3, and they work great. So yeah.
So how do you know when the sponge is done? Are they a one-time use thing, or do you use it over and over again? Or
Yeah, so
I'm such a newbie. I'm sorry.
No, that's
I'm probably asking dumb questions.
No, not at all. Because they start breaking apart, they start tearing after so many washes. And another thing is you can use sponges wet or dry. So if you use them, I used to use them wet when I was younger, but honestly, now I use the dry ones so that if you use it dry, it won't absorb as much of your makeup. So I just kind of, I'll put the makeup or the concealer on my face like this, and then I'll get the sponge and tap it, and that's how I spread it out. And then I wash it in the sink and leave it to dry overnight. Okay. So because you're washing it over and over, it'll start to tear, and you'll know it's time to get a new one.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's good to know. All right. See, I didn't even know that you washed them. So
yeah. Oh yeah, you want to wash them.
Totally. What about brushes? Do you wash out the brush?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Have to wash your brushes. Yeah, because if you think about it, you're touching your oils and you have makeup, and it'll start to grow bacteria.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But I didn't know what to do, so I did nothing. All right, let's see what the next tip is. Use creamy concealer to dot on problem areas and light foundation on the rest of the face. Okay, this was another one that I was totally lost on. I didn't know, do you put the concealer on first or do you put the foundation on first? So yeah, that helped me.
You can do either or, actually. You can put, sometimes people put the foundation on first and then dot the concealer. Because of what I use it for is the pinkness. Like if I don't put concealer in my pink areas, I look red. I have really pink cheeks. And so I put on the Too Faced, I forget what it's called, the Too Faced something concealer. It's a thicker, creamier concealer. So I dot that here, and then I get the e.l.f. sponge and spread it just in this area so that it, like that thick, creamy concealer is right here.
Yeah.
And you can still kind of see some of the pinkness coming through. But yeah, so I do it here and here. And then I use the foundation, the L'Oreal foundation, over the rest of it.
Awesome. Yeah.
So that way because if I just put that light foundation on, I'm still going to be so self-conscious, me personally, about my pinkness. I just feel I have big cheeks. And so my pinkness makes them stand out even more. And I'm trying to diminish that.
Do you use any kind of a blusher at all? Because you're already pink, or do you do something to tone it down, or?
That's a great question. I do. I contour. So the reason I want to cover up the pink is because then I want to contour and structure my face the way I want it. And so what I do is I use a bronzer to contour this area. When I gain weight, and I have gained weight during this pandemic, I gain weight here, and it starts getting bigger here and here. And so those are the ones that I want to make recede. And so I use bronzer here, and then I want to make this look like I have more of a cheek structure, even though I really don't. It's all round. So I do put a little bit of blush there at the top to make it stand out a little bit. So it gives me this illusion, even though really it's round. So yes, I do use blush for that purpose.
Gotcha. I use it to make myself not look like a corpse.
You do not look like a corpse.
No, I'm wearing blush today. Oh, eyebrows. This one makes me think of my friend Melanie because she always has to put her eyebrows on.
Yeah. So when I was younger, I used nothing on my eyebrows. And as we get older, our eyebrows get thinner. And so what I meant by do them, I didn't mean like wax them or tweeze them, although that in itself, if you just...
I have to do that. If
Yeah.
I don't, I'm half of my face is eyebrows. I look like a Muppet.
Yeah, me too. And just doing that, like tweezing them and giving them shape, just helps shape your face so much. But what I meant is, in addition to that, I use a brow pomade because it looks like I have a lot of eyebrows, but really I don't, not anymore. I used to. They have thinned out a lot now that I'm in my 50s. And so what I do is I get a pomade and with a brush, lightly put it in, and then I don't want to make it come down. I want to make it, even though it naturally goes down, I try to lift this up as much as I can because I don't want to give my eyes a droopy look. So just putting that pomade and then brushing it through after and making it go high as I can over here without, making it look like I'm drawing something else. So just doing that with your eyebrows helps structure your face, because I have a very round face. If I didn't do that with the pomade, I would just look like a big blob. And
you might feel like you look like a big
prior YouTube videos. If you go look at some of my old ones, I have no shame. I put my face with no makeup on, and so you'll be like, "Whoa!"
I have to say, I've since discovering your channel, I've watched a few other makeup channels, and I'm kind of amazed that these women who are so excited about their makeup are willing to be brave enough to go out there with nothing and then just show the whole routine. I'm like, wow, that's kind of brave. Put yourself out there.
I feel like it's important to do that because that way people can see, oh, okay, if that's what they're starting with, then I can do it too, right?
Right.
Because we just see these perfect faces of these big YouTubers, and that's not what they look like without the makeup. So I love seeing these big YouTubers like start off the video with nothing on, where I'm shocked and I'm like, okay, if she can do something, then I can do something.
Yeah. I saw one, and honestly, the woman started off, I think she looked like she was about 80. She really did. And when she was done, she looked like she was a good 50, 55. I was like, oh my word, to think that, makeup could do that and what it must do for her self-esteem,
Yeah, definitely. And there are some YouTubers out there of 70-year-olds and 80-year-olds that I follow. Who are they? Mary Ellen after 60. She is beautiful even without her makeup, but there are a lot of YouTubers out there that are over 60, over 70, and they look amazing. They have these techniques that they share, and they also, it's good to watch them because they share what to do to prevent things, because I'm not there yet. I will be 60, 70. We all will be, God willing. But yeah, they offer some great tips. So I recommend watching the older channels too. Not older, but more mature.
Right.
We're headed that way too.
Yeah. And anything that we can do to help ourselves feel better about where we are is a good thing, I think.
Definitely.
I always feel better when I've got a little face on. My husband says that, gonna go put on your face.
Yep. I see that Maribel wrote that I have no eyebrows, very thin. So Maribel, definitely try a pomade. There's some really good drugstore one now, but I have to admit I still use the, oh my goodness, which one? It's a really popular one. It's pricey. It's, oh my God, why am I blanking out? I'll try to remember and put it in the comments, but it's a little pomade. And the brush that you use makes all the difference in the world. I had a girlfriend that I took her with me to the mall. She wanted to do something for her eyebrows. And when the woman from the counter put it on her, she was like, whoa, no, that's too much. I can't use it. And I'm like, no, don't listen to her. And I said, this is the way you do it. And because the woman from the counter got the brush and went straight in, and that's not what I do. I get some from the pomade. I take a lot of it off on my hand, and whatever is left, that very little amount, that's what I use on my eyebrows, because otherwise it would look insanely crazy. So
Jack Nicholson.
yeah. So you have to find ways to, and if you have very thin, light eyebrows, that's what I recommend you do. You get your brush, get the pomade, but rub it off on your hands first, as if you were taking everything off, and whatever's left on, which will be very little, that's what you put on your thin eyebrows, and that alone will make them pop out.
So Linda says, I have white eyebrows. You can only see them in the sun. What is a pomade?
Great question. A pomade is like a creamy product made for your eyebrows. And oh God, I can't.
The men used to put pomade in their hair, right?
What was that?
Men used to put pomade in their hair. I know that much. Right?
Yeah.
So it's like a hair product, but it's specific for your eyebrows, I would guess.
Yeah, they come in, and I remember the one that I use, Anastasia Beverly Hills pomade. Their pomade is legendary, but again, it is pricey. But there are some really good affordable ones in the drugstore too. The pomade, the one that I use, the ABH one, Anastasia Beverly Hills, I like it because it has plenty of color and it stays. Like I said, I perspire a lot, and so the last thing you want is for your eyebrow pomade to be drooping, coming off, and that this stays. Like, see, I'm rubbing on it, and you can't even. It stays.
Wow. Yeah.
So that's why I like that one.
So there is color in it then. I didn't realize there was color in it. Okay.
They have blonde ones. I think they have some for like I grew out my gray hair. They have some for gray hair. They have all kinds of different colors. But yeah, pomade is the best thing. Yeah.
So Sunita must know her makeup, because she said that name, Anastasia. Is it Anastasia?
Mm-hmm.
She said that even before you brought it up. So must be she knows her makeup. And I've seen pictures of Sunita, and I have to say she's got the most beautiful skin I've ever seen. She's got skin like on a child. It's so smooth and soft looking.
Nice.
Sorry, Sunita. I've just got total skin envy. You've got beautiful skin. She says she uses a Korean tint.
Ooh, I've never heard of that one.
Okay. And Maribel says Anastasia Beverly Hills pomade is $21 at Amazon. From Maribel, our little research assistant here.
Thank you. Yeah, and it lasts me all year, sometimes a couple of years, which is crazy, but yeah.
Erica says, I have dark, thick eyebrows, but they are sparse, so I tend to use it a couple of shades lighter. Okay, so that's good.
Yeah, that's a great tip. I love that. You do what works for you. And I always say that in my channel, do what works for you, because sometimes what you hear, the tips that you hear on YouTube might work for them, but not for you. So
yeah. So let's get to your tip number 5, contour your face.
Yes.
So you'll have to tell us what you mean by that.
So
your was in capital letters. So
yeah. So as I was mentioning earlier, I like to contour my face. And what that means is that you're using either a powder or a cream product to create structure in your face. And so you will see, the most famous contour person is Kim Kardashian, and she has like these, some people like to use these really, really strong contours, but you don't have to go that crazy. You can use what I use is a bronzer to make things that you want to recede. So I use the powder. I use the number 7 bronzing powder. I get it at Target. And I kind of try to lightly bronze, and to make this recede, because if this were not bronze, this would stand out. I have big cheeks and this is chunky back here. And so that's kind of what I do. I make that recede. You'll find a lot of YouTube videos that say, oh, you're only supposed to put contour down here, so it makes you look like that. Well, that might not work for me because if I put it up here, this is going to stand out even more. So you have to contour for your face.
Okay.
What parts do you want to recede? I want this to recede. I also contour a little bit here because I have these little jowls here. So I use it there, maybe this, so it doesn't stand out so much. If I didn't contour this, my second chin would definitely stand out more. And it does when I don't wear contour. So contour for your face, whatever you want to hide a little bit more, that's what you contour.
And so if you don't have any idea how to do that, I'm guessing just explore different channels and
yeah, just look up contour videos.
Find someone with a face shape similar, or I don't know.
You're giving me ideas. I'm gonna have to like come up with some new videos to put on my channel.
You need to get some other people who are willing to be your assistants and contour them so you can get all the different face shapes.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's see here. Also, if you have fine lines, you definitely do not want to highlight those areas.
No, you don't. Yeah. You don't want to put anything like sparkly under your eye, like me, because I have a lot of wrinkles here. I do have a wrinkly eyelid and I still like my shimmer, so I do use it here, but I don't use shimmer over here because this part is super, super crepey. And if you can tell, I'm using like a little bit darker eyeshadow here. I'm kind of contouring. I have a really thick lid that comes over my lower lid, right? But you can't really see it because I've contoured it with a darker eyeshadow. And I'm making this pop, even though the lid comes over my lower lid, the fact that I put the shimmer here makes it stand out a little bit more. So I'm kind of playing with this. When I don't have any eyeshadow on, I look like I'm really swollen because these are so big on me. They're very droopy, but you can't see them as much when I put that darker eyeshadow on there.
Wow, that's good to know. Now I'm like studying my face. I'm like, oh, my eyelids are hanging down.
Oh, and so what I was saying is I don't put shimmer here because it is very crepey and it'll make the wrinkles stand out. Yeah.
Yeah, it really enhances the wrinkles, which you don't want to do.
Nope.
Sunita says, I use the Anastasia Brow Definer on my ends. Oh, like on the ends of your hair? I guess. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Melanie from Hook to the Left is here. Hi, Mel. Wow, that's nice of you. Melanie, usually isn't this your nap time? Melanie is one of the yarn hookers. So she does a live. Actually, she and Ginger both do lives on Saturday mornings. So they need a little rest before our live at 4.
I've seen some of them. I really enjoy. I get shy on lives though, so I kind of like, or I'm doing something else. I'm getting ready for work, or I'm, whatever. But yeah,
yeah. So I misunderstood. It's the ends of her eyebrows, she says.
Ah, yeah.
That makes more sense. I was like, the ends of your hair? That seems like extreme for a little tiny jar of pomade.
You can use pomade. You don't have to put it on your whole eyebrow. That's true. You can just use it on the edges. You can use it on this, whatever you want. Yeah. Yep. That's a great tip.
All right, let's see here. So I have Olivia's YouTube and Instagram here. So if you guys want to check that out, that is going to be at the end of, or down in the description box. Actually, it's probably already down there. But I thought we'd open up for I'm sorry, can't talk today. I thought we'd open up the chat for some questions for the next couple minutes. We're going to try to keep it at an hour. So we're getting close to that time already. So we'll just do a couple quick questions. Melanie says, LOL, it is, meaning her nap time, but I'm here for you.
Aww.
It's good to have friends.
Thank you.
So TLC says, I have very hooded eyes, so I tend to use the darker colors on the side of my eyes to make them look bigger. I assume it's bigger, not biggie.
That's an excellent tip.
Is that what you do? You put darker on the outside to make?
I've done
And
that
less hooded
for
looking?
years. Yes, for years. And it creates kind of like a little, I'm not doing that today though, because I've been using less and less and less makeup because we're at home working from home. But yes, that is an excellent tip. If you do like an outer V of eyeshadow where you put some here and then blend some back in here like this,
Okay.
that'll make this, oh, and the sun is hitting me, sorry. That'll make, that'll create shape to your eye. So see, my eyes naturally droop, but yes, the tip that she mentions, it makes it lift your eye.
Oh,
Yeah,
good
great
to
tip.
know.
Mm-hmm.
Good to know.
And sometimes all you need is one of those brushes that are really small and maybe even just put that dark color. That's how I started. You put that dark color just at the edge and blend it out and you're good to go. Once you start doing that, you start getting more, oh, let me put a little bit more. Let me blend it up. Now you've got this like really nice eyeshadow. So yeah, that's a great tip.
Nice, nice. Is the smoky eye still in style?
I don't think the smoky eye will ever go out of style.
Yeah.
But I love it, so I'm biased.
I don't know too much about the smoky eye, but my husband knows. That's like the only makeup term he knows. So
Yeah.
he always says, "Are you going to do a smoky eye?" And I'm like, "I don't think I've ever done a smoky eye. I wouldn't know where to start."
Smoky eyes are gorgeous, and they're really easy, but they're really intimidating because when you put that darker shadow, people think, oh my God, I look crazy. But you just have to trust the process and blend it. And then if you need to, even clean it out. One of the wonderful things of those edged sponges is that, let me move over here. Sorry about my son.
That's okay.
Is that if I've gone over, because you don't want the eyeshadow coming all the way down here, that'll droop your eyes. But you can, when you're putting on that foundation, you can clean this up so that it lifts, your eye again. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does. Awesome. So are there any other questions? Let's see. Oh, here's one. Any ideas on how to hide puppet lines on each side of your mouth? Oh, I know what she's talking about.
These.
So
what I have found that works a little bit for me, even though you might not be able to tell right now, you know how I was talking earlier about dotting the creamy concealer on my red areas?
Yes.
I forgot to mention I also dot it here. I have this darkness that makes me look like I'm frowning. And so it's those puppet lines. So I dot on some concealer to remove the darkness from there. And then I use that sponge, which again, it's going to absorb a lot of it, but it's going to blend whatever's left there. And then afterwards, I put my my very light foundation, the one that I was talking about, the liquid foundation, and sponge that on. And I know it doesn't look perfect, but this is way better than before I had that concealer on. So if you can find a concealer that doesn't crease on you, that, because you don't want a concealer that creases on you, that's going to make it worse and make them stand out more. So you want a creamy one. I love the Too Faced one. I forget. Let me Google it really quick. It's the Too Faced concealer.
I had to mute myself for a second there. I had a spam call on my answering machine going off.
Oh.
You can't escape them.
It's the Born This Way Super Coverage Concealer.
Oh, someone had earlier mentioned in the chat, Born This Way.
That's what it looks like. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a very thick consistency and it's creamy. And I find that if I just dot a little bit and use a sponge, it won't crease on me. You can even use powder on top of it, a good powder that doesn't crease on you. And yeah, that'll help hide this a little bit more.
Yeah, it was Maribel. Of course, Maribel would know, right? She's our research assistant. So TLC says, yes, I always do my eyes first. Easier to clean up the fallout. I never, ever would have thought of that. I always do my eyes last. They're always the last thing I do.
Yeah, no.
So do your eyes first.
Do them first. I do my eyes first too. That way you can just wash it off or you can even use your eye makeup remover and with the little cotton swab and just clean it up. And then that way you're doing the rest of your makeup afterwards.
Good to know. So I think we're just about out of time, but I was going to end with a funny story that my husband told me about his coworker. She came to work one day and everybody said, "What's wrong with your eye? Your eye's all swollen." And she said, "I don't know what's going on." And I think 3 or 4 people had commented on it. And so finally she got out her little mirror and, "Oh my God, my eye is swollen." And she got into her car. She was on her way to the walk-in, only to realize that she had forgotten to put makeup on that eye.
Yep.
There was nothing whatever wrong with her eye, but she had forgotten to put makeup on it. And it made such a difference that everybody thought she had like conjunctivitis or something.
Yep. That's kind of happened to me before when I was ill. And so I didn't put on my eye makeup, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, you look so swollen." And I was like, "No, I look swollen all the time. I just hide it well with makeup."
But if you ever want a sick day, that's the way to get it. Go into work with no makeup one day, and the next day they're like, "Oh, I don't know what's wrong with her, but man, she looked terrible."
Yep. That's a good tip.
So those are my 2 tips. If you want a day off, wear makeup the day before, or don't wear makeup the day before. And also make sure you put on both eyes. Okay, so I think that we're going to end here. So I just want to thank everybody for coming, and don't forget to check out Fun with Olivia. And she's got great makeup, but she's also got fun, beautiful yarns. I love your yarn reviews and your unboxings. So everybody go check out Fun with Olivia's channel. And
thank you for having me, Julie. This was fun.
It was fun. I'm so glad you came. Okay, bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.